morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Well, things are going well, I hope.
Yep,
Good,
yep.
good.
It's gonna be a hot, dry week for me.
Yeah, it's going to be a hot, wet week, I think. Well, I don't know. I mean, the last couple of weeks have just been rain every day, so glad everything's going well for you, sir. Welcome, everybody, who's to session 9 now from our great campaigns of the American Civil War, Thunder on the Mississippi. Now the recipient of the Charles S. Roberts Award for the Outstanding Operations Level game as of yesterday's announcement. So, congratulations to Joe and Chris and everyone at MMP for that award this year. Getting a Charlie is always a very nice honorarium, so congrats on that. And we are picking up where we left off last week with session 9 now. Not much to say about this one. I think the time is frittering away for me. You all in the comment sections of the video have been very nice. I mean, you've been great about like, ooh, yeah, tapping your watch. Time's ticking there, Patrick. Come on. And I looked back at the scenario information this morning to see what I needed, and well, 50 points is the minimum for a union, and I'm also now 12 points in the hole. So now my threshold is 62 victory points for any kind of W on this one. So we have achieved some kind of equilibrium here. We've got now a, a no man's land along the Natchez. So I don't. Boy, howdy! This is where I get that little dark cloud that starts following me around. Like, I don't know how I can find my way around you at this point because you've dug in. Stevenson has really dug in, and there are no good pathways from here to get around you to your left flank, and to go around your right flank means I've got to try to bridge the river, and I don't see an easy way to do that here in the next 7 turns. So things are starting to look a little bleak for me. I think reality is starting to set in here, and I got to figure out either I do a massive punch and try to break through, or I just say, "You got me." I don't want to do that though. I really want to see where this thing's going, but I think you've got me in a very good stalemate here. You've had a week to look at it now. Do you feel the same?
There's a couple things I think you could try to do. One, obviously, would just try to pull off a huge grand assault and hope for the best right here where we're, as you said, along the Natchez Trace. You could try to do some more maneuvering. Yeah, I've been looking at this just trying to see. I think at this point, it's sit and wait. Which option are you going to go for, and then see what happens. I don't think I can move really. I don't have any extra guys. What's our random event? I forgot to check.
Union intelligence this time, so I'll be starting with
Okay,
that. It
so,
means I will get the first initiative, and I will break all ties today, which is helpful. And I sat here for the last 20 minutes trying to figure out what's my opening move. What do I do? But
okay.
to exactly what you said, it's like either a massive attempt at a grand assault on one or of those, depending on how I choose to bring everybody in. But even that, to me, when I look at it, it's like, well, that's of limited benefit other than scattering you a little bit because that puts me here, this way. It doesn't advance me too far this way. And the setup time for getting something on Stevenson is tricky. And now I don't have a flank because you've got 18 manpower with your defensive works in there. So this is definitely a puzzle. In any normal game of great campaigns, you do a lot of maneuver and then you kind of set up the set piece battle and then you try to do the best you can. But here, this one is the initiatives have been so critical that every time
Oh,
you try to set
it's
something up, it's been tete-a-tete, and you're doing really well with that.
yeah. I have to think every time I thought, gosh, if I don't get the next initiative, I'm in trouble. I get it, and then I get the movement roll that I need. I've just been incredibly fortunate with that.
So this one's been it's been a little different in the fact that we don't have a lot of incursions and spreading out and going and you chasing after this group A and group B is doing this and you're not coming after my wagons or my supply depots. It's just been you're doing this much like I would. It's like fall back and let the Union tie themselves up in knots and just find the ultimate places for making a little stand with defensive works. And so far it's been working fantastic for you.
Yeah, and historically, and did not, he pretty much kept his guys north of the Big Black, so that opened up Grant's to do what he did, which is to run to Jackson and then double back. But we're at turn 27. We still have 40 some odd turns to go. But yeah, the points you need are up in Vicksburg, so you've got
Right.
to get up close to Vicksburg
Right.
and start
You get the
accumulating
let's
points.
see. You get the 15 if you're occupying it at the end, plus you get a calculation based on the first time you enter it, so you get kind of double dipping points there. But then you also need to have a cushion amount of time perhaps that you've put it under siege, and you get some degradation points, and so all of that is a factor there. So let's say I got in on turn 50, right? That's then you would get 100 minus 50, so that's 50 points, but now I'm down 12 points, so that comes to 38. So I really need to offset the losses, and I need to set up an amount of time where I'm getting the extra calculus for all of that time, and that window is closing ever so slowly every session we play.
Yeah,
Uh, each mile that I don't make to the north and east with other options to scatter you, then that is getting worse and worse. And what I love it is people are watching this video and they're zipping up to this point going, "Duh." They know this, right? This is no surprise to them. But it's like, let's watch Patrick try to get out of a box, and well, yeah, it's I don't. We talked about this a couple sessions ago. It's like, what point do you just say, "Here you go"? I'm okay. We're done. Let's swap sides and try this again. Because the next one's going to be completely different. You're just gonna go on a tear. I just know it. But I'm having a fun time regardless. It's still good, but it is
well,
a very much a puzzle this time for the Union.
to me again. I'm fast. I don't know what the right word is. We play these campaign games, and they're each as a series. Each one is so unique and different, and seems to me to capture the historical problems both side had as best it can, given that we have perfect knowledge. Like I could look on the chart here. I was just looking to see, Washburn's not coming in for quite a while. That's good intelligence for me to know. And I don't think there's any way for him to move up with the random event or anything. So
No,
that
and
that gives me something that I can kind of just kind of okay. I can just kind of relax a little bit about your guys you've got around Warrenton. It's tied up some of my guys, but not that many. I was actually just doing the math here, so I'm pretty much. I guess we're pretty much even with the whole Big Black River line and the Mississippi River line. We're pretty much even on manpower. So yeah,
yeah, well,
yeah,
I guess we've frittered away 10 minutes here, so I guess
okay.
people come for the action. So let's give them what they came for. Let's go through. We know it's Union intelligence, so I'll go first. And what else we got here? We got leader transfers. Well, do I wish to move anybody off of that line? You know what? Let's try something bold and stupid. Let's move McPherson over to Hall. Why not? Because I got leaders left over there. McLaurin is next to useless, but he will do in a pinch. And I think that's good for me.
Prempton back to Smith. Needed grand assault. It's probably gonna have to be some sort of command thing. So you've done that with McPherson. Interesting.
And that's why I do it,
And
just to make sure that I give you something to go, oh, okay, I hadn't thought of that.
deal is 8. That's the only guy I'll move.
Okay.
So it's to you.
Um,
What's next?
we have attachments.
Attachments.
I don't know that I've got any.
Don't think I have any this turn.
Nope.
I don't see anything to attach. So
Okay. Well, then on to the action cycle. I do get the first one, so I will. Sure, what the hell? I'll activate Hall with McPherson, and he'll get a fatigue. And here is the movement now of +1. 3. Well, I was hoping for something better than that. But let's just go here. Just disengage off of that. Here's first initiative. That's yours.
let's see. As you mentioned, there's no longer a flank. So I guess the first thing to do is to activate Barton. He's going to pick up a fatigue and he's going to lose his flanks refused. Initiative. That's yours.
Okay. Then I will have Hall go to 2. And here's movement. Still not great. We just need a little help here, guys. 1, 2, and 3 to there. Initiative. That's yours.
I guess I'll activate Tracy back here at Hall's Ferry. Here's his movement +1. Gets 6.
That's far better than 2.
So he's going to go. So he's a 3. So this is going to be 1, 2 to there. So he has 4 remaining, which is going to cost all his movement points to get to here.
Okay.
Initiative. That's yours.
All right. I'll have the 6 Missouri March. Movement.
Wow.
Yeah. Man, the stars are telling me something today. 1, 2. Initiative. It's mine. I'll have 2nd Illinois March. Movement. 5. We'll go 3, 4, and 5. Initiative. That's yours.
I'll activate Tracy again. He's outside of Stevenson's command, so he's just going to get a +1. Here's his movement. He can go 4. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. Gets him within Stevenson's range if I need him to be within range. Initiative. That's your or mine. I'm going to pass.
Move wagon A. Here's their movement. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Finally got some decent mule skinners. Initiative. Good. Wagon A again. Movement. That's better. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to Humphrey.
Wow. On fire.
Yeah. Initiative. That's yours.
Well, that didn't really change the strategic situation. I'm going to pass again.
Okay. Let's have wagon D move. There's movement. Makes up for it. Go to there.
All the good guys ran over that other
That's
wagon
right.
train. All the good mules.
Initiative. That's mine. We'll take them again. Movement. That's all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the Willows. Initiative. That's mine. Okay. Let's start peeling off some manpower here, I think. Sub 1 is going to march and drop a sub behind.
Yes, we did get an answer to that question.
Yes.
We can drop the subs.
Thank you, everyone.
Subs can drop subs.
Chris Withers and everyone that chimed in on that. So, subs beget subs. Let's see what I've got in my HQ. Oh, I got plenty. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I got plenty. All right, so sub 1 is going to march. And we'll get his movement 3. Okay, and he's going to drop off sub 3. So they are just there in case sub 4 gets some idea for whatever reason. The movement, he's going to go 1, 2, and 3 to there. Initiative. That's yours.
Movement. So yeah, I'm going to continue to pass.
Then I will have sub 2 march. And we'll do the same thing. Here's their movement. Okay, so they're going to have enough to come down to sub 1. So we're going to pull them off to the side. HQ 2. And that's 1 to there, 2, and then, yeah, he can just join there, 3. Okay. Initiative. That's yours if you wish.
Well, let's see. I guess if you're doing that, is there any reason for me not to do the same thing now? He could still attack across the bridge. I could attack across the bridge.
You
That'd be
could.
3 to 6.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess I'll take sub 4 will march. But I think I'm just going to leave behind 1 manpower. And he's going to march 6. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to there. Initiative. It's mine. I guess Herb A will do the same thing. I'm going to leave behind 1 manpower. I'll leave 1 piece of artillery. Oh, so here's his movement. Ooh, 8.
Man, killing me, man.
So 1, 2, 3. Oops. 1, 2, 4. Oh, wait. 1, 2. He moved out of his Zoc. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I'd like to leave him there, but I'll go ahead and use that other 8. Initiative. That's mine. Guess I'll take sub 4 first. Here's his movement +1. 7. Wow. On fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to there. I didn't cut any corners. All you guys who caught me cutting corners that one time. That's mine. We'll take Mornay. We'll take Herb A +2. Here's his movement. 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there. Oh, that's perfect. Initiative. That's mine. I'll pass again.
I'm going to have MacArthur march, and he'll drop a sub. 1 manpower behind. Movement from MacArthur. 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4 to there. Initiative. Ties, that's mine. I will Dennis march.
Dennis? Not Dennis.
He's going to leave 1 and 1 behind as well. Movement. Very nice. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just go to there for the moment. There. Okay. Initiative. It's mine. I'll have MacArthur go to 2. Movement. There's the great movements. Jeez. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Initiative. That's yours.
Okay, I still am restricted by the Army of Relief is kind of stuck around Jackson, those 2 brigades, which are not dug in a couple key spots. I'm going to pass.
Okay. I'll have Dennis march to 2. Here's movement. Of course. Of course he couldn't get a 3. 1, 2. Initiative. Mine. Dennis will go to 3. So ridiculous. Movement. Damn. All important extended march roll of +1. Because the Union just for +1. Yeah. Cannot win for losing in this game. Damn it. Alright, initiative. It's the simplest thing. You're trying to reorganize the damn army, and they don't want to move.
I'm going to pass again.
The 2nd Illinois March. Movement. 7. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to there. Initiative. That's a tie.
It's yours.
That's mine. I will have 6 Missouri March. Movement. 5. God bless it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to there. I've never seen more horrible movement. That's mine. I'll have them go to 3. Watch this, everybody. Here, movement for 6 Missouri. Incredible movement. But at what cost? Here's their extended march roll. All right, they're okay. Just so. Initiative. That's mine. I'm going to pass.
I'll pass as well.
Okay. I don't need to forge anyone, and I'm not going to build or repair. So I will hit the recovery. Recovery has been clicked. Stevenson continues to dig. Yes. And we are on to turn 28 now. So let's get ourselves a random event. What do you say?
Yep.
All right. You want to do the honors? You want me?
I'll do it.
Do it. Do it. 9.
9.
Accelerate
Alright,
unit entry.
Entry. Okay, I think there's a die roll to that, I think.
Yes.
One of us has to roll a die. If it's even, you select one Union unit or a cavalry unit, except the current turn. Union player rolls a die again. If that rolls 3 or less, says place to track one box earlier. If it's 4 more. Or the Confederate player selects one cavalry box in order to attack.
Okay. Well, then I'll give us a roll here. So you say on even.
Even it's your choice.
Okay. It's your choice.
It's my choice. So I have to select a unit. Looking at Breckinridge's guys. Do I have anybody that's not Army of Relief coming on here? No. So I guess I'll choose one of Breckinridge's guys. It'll be Helm. If player rolls a die again, if that rolls 3 or less, okay. It's a 6. 4 more. The select unit is placed 2 boxes earlier than its current location.
Oh, Helm.
If the leader occupies the select unit, the leader must come into his new. Okay, so Breckinridge has to go with him. Very good.
Is it though? I mean, yeah. You said it's part of Army Relief, but still, I didn't. Yeah, I could have really. I could have used Washburn a little bit, but that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the leader transfers. I will move McPherson back to Crocker, and that is all. Actually, you know what? I'll bring Grant over and have him in the center there. Good to have him coordinating everything from the center.
I guess I'll leave everybody where they are then.
Then on to our attachments. So I've got some and you've got some. I'm going to. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hold off on mine, so go ahead with yours.
Okay. I'm going to attach sub 4 into Herbay. So Herbay's going to gain, looks like he just gains 2 manpower. He goes back to there. And Herbay, Fournay go there. And I think that's the only one I have. Yep.
Okay. Then I will hold off on mine, of course. And here's our first initiative. That's mine. Okay. I'm going to have Sherman activate Blair and Tuttle. And they're going to lose their entrenchments. And here's their movement. And they're just going to step into there.
Wow.
Initiative.
Big stack.
Big stack. Initiative. That's mine. Have Grant, McPherson, and Crocker and Logan. So they will go lose their entrenchments. Movement. That's big movement, but they're going to go to there. Initiative. That's mine. I'm going to have McClernand activate all of his. Here's the movement. That's fine. They're going to lose their entrenchments. And they're all going to go to here. Initiative, that's yours.
I'll have Loring activate Featherstone. He's going to lose his entrenchments. And Loring will transfer to him. Initiative. That's... Where are we at?
High ties, that's yours.
Fine, okay. I'll have Fournay activate Herbay. Here's his movement. Got the slows. Doesn't want to get any part of this. 1, 2, 3 to there. Initiative. That's mine again. We'll take Herbay to T2. Here's his movement. That's 4. He's just able to go 1-2 to there because he doesn't have anywhere near enough now to get into that lowest hex. Initiative, that's yours.
Here's the 6-1 I needed. Okay, let's see. I'm going to have Sherman attempt an assault. Bowen here. So I will activate all 3. And here is the assault attempt +1. It does 1 comes off, so 1 goes in. So that will be Blair. We will now attempt a grand assault with Grant. Here's a +1 to the roll. It's a 5, and that is a failure. Blair charges the guns. So, +1 for assault. Tactical is the same. You've got 18, I've got 4, so that is like 1 to 5. Yeah, so it's a -4 on ratio, because Sherman is stellar as always. And then I've got 3 pieces of artillery, and you've got 6, so that's a -3. I'm guessing that's a -1 in. Let's see.
I got to roll for it.
Oh, you do have to roll for it. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, -3 is so I have to roll for it. It's not used.
Okay. So I see 1 up and 4 down for a -3 attack. Because Blair was impetuous. Here's a -3 attack. Yeah, it's a 0. Yeah.
That's a -6. You had 4. It's 2D.
This game's hard, fellas. And ladies, it's hard. It's really hard. You try Blair, -2. Pew, pew. And hey, initiative. Tomorrow is another day. It's yours.
I guess I'm going to back Bowen out.
Well, that accomplished what I wanted. Yay!
I could sit there
at a cost of blood and treasure.
And take the potential is still there that you could get me out of there with some. I would suffer manpower losses, but you now have to take time to set everything back up again. And they're just going to go 1 hex to there, which is the best thing. I guess I could roll. Well, wait, that's going to be. Yeah, they're not going to. They're just going to do the 1 hex move to there. Initiative. That's mine. Do I want to bring him 4-A? I'll pass.
I have Crocker and the other one. They're going to move. They're going to do that. And they're going to move there. Initiative. That's yours. Another 1-6. I think it's time for you to pull off a stunning grand assault.
I'm thinking about it.
You should. Why not? Do it.
I don't have a flank. On the other hand, if I attempt a grand assault, I can D you out, D myself out.
Trust me. If you do it, it will work.
No.
I've got the shine. I'm prescient in this. I think you've had 2 grand assaults this whole campaign, and they have both worked.
It wasn't Los. I definitely like to try it, but I guess if I rolled a 5, I could come in with 1 unit and do what you did, which I don't really want to do that. I'm going to pass. Let you do what you're going to do.
Well, it's nothing too stellar. You've got 9 there. I've got 8 there. Yeah, I'm going to have McPherson activate both. They're going to attempt an assault on Tillman and Buford, even though they're dug in. I've got 8, you've got 16. Let's see what I get for my troubles. +1, 5. So one of them can come in. I hate Lowe's so much. Alright, Crocker will come in. We'll attempt a grand assault. Hey, Mr. Grant, General Grant, can I have an assault? 4.
Yeah.
I get 1 extra hex. Hooray! I'm going to bring the remainder of Sherman's crew in here. So we've got 7 with them and 5 for... Oh, shit. Which one should I bring in? I said Crocker. So 10 to 16. Yeah. 10 to 16, and I've got 4, 5, 8 pieces of artillery to your. You've got 4, so it's +4. It's just covered. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. We got a +1 assault. I have a tactical on you, +1 tactical, and I have a -1 for ratio because of 10 to 16, and artillery's covered, and sadly no flank. So I just see a net +1.
One final?
Yep.
Yep.
Net +1. Here's the attack. Bam! It's 5. Yeah.
So it's a
It's 1.
+1 result.
Yeah. I think this might be our last session on this one, Roger. I'm just not feeling it. I just
+1 on 8 is a D for me.
And it's a 1D for me. So fail on that. That's just
Go to disorg.
great. Always feels great.
And you did lose 1 more manpower.
Did lose a manpower.
Sure, up to 25.
Yes. All right. So Crocker takes a hit. He will flip and go to that, and the others will just D out as well. Okay. Initiative. That's yours.
I'm going to have Stevenson activate Tracy for movement. Here's his movement. He has 6 movement points. Stevenson's going to transfer to Tracy. What would the 2 cavalry units like to do?
Looks like we're retreating. So we are a 2 minus. We got a +1 for the creek. So here's +1. It's a 4, so you lose 2 MP.
So
yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. Initiative. It's mine. Take Stevenson with Tracy. Here's his movement. And 1, 2, 3 to there. Initiative. That's yours.
Get Hall out of there. Movement. 4. We go there. Initiative. Mine. McPherson's going to declare an assault on Loring. Here's the assault attempt +1. 5. Logan succeeds, and now we have a grand assault, Mr. Grant. 4. Yes, we can. Fantastic. We'll bring in McClernand. All right. So +1 assault. Tactical's even, and we have 5, 10, 20, 20 to your 9. So we get a +1 ratio, but we're going to get a -1 on Creek. So -1. So I see and cannons. I got 1, 5, 8 to your 1. Oh, man.
It's just
Just
not
cover.
quite enough.
Never enough. Damn it.
So the final's a +1?
+1. All right.
Okay.
Here's +1. Yeah. 3.
That's -2.
I'm done, everybody. I'm done. This has just been ashes. 3 horrible assaults today. My morale check is done. I'm not moving anywhere. So, Roger, congratulations. You won the campaign. The Vicksburg campaign. You've done it. Well done, sir. The Union is terrible in this one. I just have... Every single plan has gone absolutely to crapola. So I'm ready to swap sides here on this one and just see I'm going to give you a turn in the barrel as the Union. Oh, it's joyous. It's lovely. I mean, Roger, you speak your mind on it, but I mean, you're seeing it too. And it's not just like 0 for 3. I mean, statistically, I should at least get one, but I mean, they're just horrible today. And yes, I am being a little capricious on this, but the first one you saw in this turn where I set it up and I just did the big left flank shift, and I thought, okay, cool, let's try this, and we'll try the center, and that went as well as expected, charging the center. Poor Blair took it on the chin on that one, but I do hit a level of frustration in great campaigns that it's dice dependent. It's like any game, but if I'm just constantly working against the opponent and the dice, I hit a level, man. I hit a threshold. It's like, I can't do it anymore. And then this one, I thought, okay, there's a lot of logistics and everything. Nothing went so horrible where you were being extremely on the offense trying to go after depots and wagons because you don't have to. But this one, it's just like every time I needed just anything better than a 1 or a 2. God. Yeah. I mean, you suffered early on. I mean, I guess this is a great time to pivot over into the whole campaign discussion, and we'll take as much time as we need to on this one. But early on, I'm just looking at, yeah, you suffered mightily with movement and command paralysis. But did it affect you? No, because most of the time
No,
you're rolling great.
I think there was only a couple of times where that command and movement and or movement paralysis hurt me because I got good movement rolls, and then I also got, like, if I needed to move 2 units under command paralysis, I would get the initiative,
Right,
move, get the initiative and move.
right.
And I didn't have to, the fact I wasn't able to activate, and I was not on the offensive. I don't know how many, I really kept, like today, I was like, I just felt like it was just, the Confederates really have to kind of take it on the chin. I think they just can't get too aggressive, with an even attack or a +1 attack and force you to do those 0 and even +1 attacks. And to some extent, I do get the sense that the vassal decides it's going to hate one of us. That
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, I do.
And I felt like it was hating you. So I felt like, okay, let's not piss it off by doing something stupid. And but yeah, my next move would have been to see if I could get Stevenson past Hall and then to head towards your rear and to break
Yeah,
him loose towards your wagons was
yeah,
my next
yeah. I figured that was,
step.
that's why I moved Hall here rather than, obviously this way is madness because then you would just swarm on him and really hurt him. This way, at least I'm keeping the wagon in check because, I had my eye on like, oh, Taylor's just going to start coming over land and threaten the wagon and runaway mules. I've tried to temper any opportunities for just giving up dumb points, and I think this one there's a fair bit of that. Even stripping away some of the subs back here was all right. How frisky is Roger going to get about trying to fix this and come after Grand Gulf? And I weighed that against, okay, I know you pretty well, and I think you probably figured that the manpower can better be used just bolstering the front. And as it turns out, it was. Not that you needed to, because in all three situations, I was underwater here.
Yeah.
This whole line today was an absolute dismal failure from top to bottom, start to finish, back and forth. And I don't feel like they were capricious attacks, but the Los is a factor. Absolutely is a factor. And I just needed to get out of the Los, and it was that last little line here of Los that I just couldn't get past. And I wouldn't think to make these kind of attacks way down here, but a couple of them I did. Early on, the Grindstone Ford, I managed to get into the Willows with a couple of good stout pops. And for me to overcome that reservation of attacking across a major river or across a bridge or whatever, because that lack of flanks. So in this one as the Union, very, very cautious, very conservative until you try to, and then at that point you cede it to the die roller. And I'm not just blaming the die roller, but it's dumb luck. It's bad luck. And it's like, oh, okay, great. That perfect plan just went terribly because I rolled a 1, or you rolled a 6, or both, whatever. It's just that starts to wear on you a little bit. It's a differential game, and you try to mitigate all the factors that you can. But in the end, once those bones are rolling, then that's the historical narrative part. Like, nope, Sherman's the alcoholic in this one, apparently. So, yeah.
I'm just kind of looking up. I rolled a 5, a 4, and a 6 on your 3 attacks. So I was above average on each one of those attacks, and you were below average on each one of those attacks. Well, you rolled a 4 on one, on one, so it wasn't too bad.
In
But
the video
still,
now, I'm showing the in total the entire, and I think our pips were quite even. On average, those rolls they do. The bell curve comes out. Everything works out on average. It's just the moment to moment that every single one of them is like, I really need this one just to work a little bit. Nope, it's going to fail just a little bit. But let's talk about the whole campaign here. I think, and this will probably give you some ideas for when we swap sides here. It really does come to that 3-act play that we talk about. And we've seen it in all of the individual basic scenarios. Act 1 is down here, Port Gibson, and figuring out where the Union wants to make a crossing. Act 2 seems to be all of this here in Claiborne County. And Act 3 and beyond is where the Union makes some kind of effort to cross or threaten Jackson, as we see way up here. So historically, we know they went to the northeast and then came back. I guess that's Grant's way of threatening all the supplies at Jackson and then attempting to scatter and prevent the Army of Relief and all of that from coalescing. At the same time, it pulls all of that manpower away from Vicksburg. So this is where, for those of you, I know many of you, some on the call, have probably finished the Vicksburg campaign multiple times. This is where you get to put your whole treatise down there in the comments section about where you think the linchpin is for the Union player about this. Obviously, you need a little bit of luck, you need a little bit of movement, and you need all of that factor to go. But this one was a head scratcher for me because Roger is so good at countering everything, and of course, the initiative game is I'm going to try this. Well, it's going to be blunted and offset by that. So, Roger, I congratulate you on every single thing that I did. You either sniffed out or you managed to get in front of and just bolster before I could do anything about it. So, that's great Confederate strategy on this one. Just stay in front of them and keep them just big enough to prevent them from doing any damage.
looking at it, I don't know what I would have done. If I was playing on the Union side, I'm not sure that I have anything that I would have done differently. Obviously, I'm going to have to think about this now a little bit more in advance. My strategy was just not try to keep the manpower, force you to attack, hopefully with low odds, and hope the dice go my way. Try not to. When I soloed this, I ended up with forces getting trapped. I think in this area because I got a little reckless with the Confederates, and they got trapped in here and having to retreat into these swamp hexes. I think I lost. I can't remember now if it was Loring's or Boeing's whole division. Pretty much got had to surrender because they were caught in that bend there. So I tried to avoid that, though a couple times you almost had me pinned, and I was able. Again, the initiatives went my way, and I was able to get out of it. I thought today your options were what you did, which is to attempt the frontal assault, try to bust through, and get up to this, get to this bridge, and then start heading up the river. I felt that was probably your best option given the way the time is slipping by. Because the other option would have been to try to run down to Utica.
Right. I didn't want to do that. That's way too much coordination.
Yeah, and a long way to go. So much went against you today. It was that's kind of amazing. I mean, I thought one of your attacks would succeed, and then it'd be an interesting.
Well, I was fully expecting the counterattack, because I was even trying to goad you into like, do it, because it's gonna work for you.
I had done one, remember, a couple sessions ago that ended up. I had a pretty good. I think I had like a +3, and I ended up losing, and it crippled me what bailed me out there was rain. We had I think we only had one actual rain event, and it bailed me out because I was able to let everybody rest and recover on that turn, and it helped you too. Your guys also rested and recovered. I definitely have to look at and think about this as the Union here as we move into that next session.
And for this one, for those of you out there that, Patrick, you're belly aching, yes, true. But at the same time, today I was looking for some kind of a catalyst, a spark. I needed something to break us out of the potential sitzkrieg that we were having here, and it was a matter of choosing. It's like moving here was not an option because Sherman would have gone from Zoc to Zoc. So setting that up would have been terrible, and Stevenson was just digging in. So I thought, if I shift here, and I was really surprised because the first thing you did was you moved Featherstone up here rather than keeping him, because I guess you felt like, ooh, McClernand's this big threat here, and you wanted to bolster Loring's stack up here. And that was a boon to me because that did bring down the ratio a little bit here in the center. But all the same, it's still Sherman. Sherman has been the millstone around my neck this entire. He is meant to be the blunt hammer, and in every single critical moment, from beginning to end, when I have needed Sherman to do anything of substance, he has fumbled the ball.
Well,
We need to send him back to the crazy house, with his little nervous breakdown. That's what, because
historically his tactics was never very good. So he kind of, that's just kind of the way he was.
Yeah, that's right. War is all hell.
Good strategist, excellent strategist. But when it came down to tactics, he generally kind of fumbled the ball a little bit. Yeah, I moved Loring over there to bolster the tactical and to get, because I was kind of doing the math, and I thought you were going to continue to shift and to send McPherson's guys up there as well, and to take that hex, which then puts me I then saw, how do I get Bowen out of there? So it was kind of what would be the worst case? If you attack Bowen and drive him out of there, I can still get everybody out. If you take this hex, though, now suddenly, this ferry's in play, though I was able to get Fournay up there, or Bay up there really quickly. So to me, it was a question of, I just felt like I needed to reinforce that hex with tactics more than anything else, and that was the only way I could get a tactical guy up there. Because
I did that just because this for me that was the linchpin today. I needed to get that unit out of there so that I could then make a choice or decision about what to do here with Stevenson. And the way we had it set up originally with Sherman here and McPherson here, starting at this and bringing them all in here, that was going to give me 2 hexes worth of that. And then I said, well, you know what? If I shift everybody after the turn, I waited till McClernand's corps rested up, got them back, then I shifted them all, and I did not expect 3 initiatives in a row to do that. That's why I stacked them on top of each other, because I knew if I had put one space in between any of them, you would have snuck into that hole and started a possible flank attack. So that's why I brought them. I just rolled them up this way and got them into space, and then I said, okay, now potentially in this Los, I've got 3 fronts that I can attack into Bowen, and you sniff. Well, obviously Blair failed, and then you sniffed it out, and you just walked out of there. So I said, okay, well, I'll try it, but I went into the breach, and then that failed, and then the last one failed against Loring. So, too much.
Yeah.
It's just too much. Yeah. But yeah, again, I'm fascinated by this. I think this can go in myriad ways. And I've heard stories about, I've seen like videos of Justigard and some of the other, content creators. They're playing this on the table at conventions over 3 or 4 days. And they're like, oh yeah, we got up to Vicksburg and we set fire to everything and we were there for 20 turns. I'm like, how? How is it possible? Where are these holes that they're speaking of? So I think that's a testament to you, Roger, about how well you were able to, the entire big black fortress wall, that you were able to completely cover every single one of the crossings and then prevent me from getting a flank around to make any way of a left turn in towards Vicksburg at all. So kudos on that.
If people who are watching all our sessions and you go watch our session play, especially the Here Comes the Rebels, I think was a key teaching moments for me, where I did not do a good job of playing defense, and you pretty much were able to run ragged, and so there's been a lot of, it's one of those things where you're not explicitly saying something, but a kind of experience of saying, okay, I've got to really think about, I'm outnumbered, I've got to play defense. I can't get too aggressive, and I just got to really look at the terrain and look at the roads and figure out, tuck yourself behind creeks, tuck yourself, how to block a crossroads so that's difficult. So you have the player that's on the offense has to use a fatigue or two to get something set up, which then plays into extended marches and forces the other player to maybe do more than they want to do. It goes back to the sessions that we played now over the last, what did we decide? 5 years? 6 years?
Oh, yeah, 5 years, yeah. Yep.
So, that's just a lot of, learning from experience of knowing that I've got to just keep my eye on that and just keep falling back. And I know, and when to fall back. It's like, this is a good defensive position, but I'm going to fall back now. It's like today, I didn't feel too uncomfortable sitting there with Bowen, but I just felt like, okay, if I fall back a hex, the worst, you're going to have to move into that hex. So that's a fatigue. And that's, so that's going to help because now that reduces the number of chances you have to pull off an assault and so on. So that really is the years of session playing with you, Patrick, of you just really, I learned from how you beat me up when I don't pay attention to these little things. And I think I did a pretty good job. And again, not to beat a horse, I every time I was sitting here going, I've got to get the initiative. I got it. Every time I thought I need to roll at least a 5, I rolled a 6. It was like, and so that just really, all those breaks came my way session after session after session. I think there's only one session where I just, as we shut down, I went into my living room and my wife went, "How did it go today?" Where I said, "Oh, this was awful." I think we only had one session where I felt like this is just a terrible session today.
Conversely, against you, sir, in all the years we played, I've learned nothing about what I need.
I tried to do something different. I mean, I tried this time. I mean, one of my things I like you kind of did a nice flank, and you had McPherson or Sherman. Somebody got behind me in this, and you had me sweating. That was a session I thought, okay, this is, if I don't have a good string of initiatives next turn, this could go badly. I think this was between the crossroads and, or actually, I think I was down here at Rocky Springs still, and you had gotten up around the crossroads area, and I had got just the right string of initiatives to kind of sneak by and get north of you again. With I think it was Bo and I had hanging out down there, blocking you for a long time, but so.
The last thing I want to address here in this first playthrough, and it will factor into the second one, but I think it's a major discussion point for this particular title, and that's why the folks are here, is let's talk about Los, because we've seen it in every one of the basic scenarios, and now we have experienced it. I've experienced it primarily as the Union in this, but there are 4 major ways that the Los are your enemy, I guess, as the Union. 1, let's just talk about the direct movement. Okay, it's treated like woods, so anything greater than 2 manpower, if you're going into that, from 3 to 10 or 11, it's a +3, right? So that's like 4 movement points just to get into anything with that. So basically, for the Union, more often than not, that's a minimum hex move. It's like, here you go. I rolled a 1, here, just move them there. Obviously, the restricted Zoc is a significant part of this. The roads already suck down here. We've established that. But that's where you have to plan for, okay, I could just move around him. He's got the road network, but I can get around him through these restricted Zocs. And I know time and time again, Roger was asking me, he was like, wait a minute, is this Zoc to Zoc? And I was like, no, you're good. You're not going to flip. You can go from here to there with no problem. So those 2, just from the Union's movement standpoint, are so tedious, but also they pull you back into, you've got to focus on this. Like, I've got to get this core in all of its disparate pieces from here to there along a disagreeable road network that's full of Los. So marching is so critically important in this one, as it is in all of them, because it's a game of maneuver. But in this title, now that Los has been so much of, it has cost me so much brain power. That's the first 2. The second 2, obviously in combat, we've got the big factor is assaulting and attacking. you get that +1 time and time and every one of them today. Every single one of my attacks where I've got to do an assault roll and a grand assault roll, that +1 was the difference between I was getting at least one hex, but I really needed two more grand assault hexes. But I think out of all of them, all the grand assaults, I have to go back through all the videos and look that Grant made. He was probably under 50% on that because he was rolling a 4. Every time rolling a 4, and that becomes a 5, and that's a failure. So grand assaults are exceptionally difficult here in this particular campaign. And also the flanks, setting up flanks, don't expect to get these big +4 flanks. You're not going to get them with Los. You may get 1 or 2 points, but all you can best hope for in most of these attacks in the Los is you are trying to set up for retreat losses. And of course, if you don't cause a retreat, then that's moot. But you want to control all of the roads, obviously, but you also need to make sure that you're forcing your opponent to retreat through Los Hexides without a road, because you're not going to get the benefit of the flank on the front end, but you might get the manpower losses on the back end. Anything to add on that? I think those are the big 4 things for Los.
I think that's absolutely correct.
It was the most significant factor, I think, in every single one of our sessions here, bar none. And that one little terrain type, when they created the hill hex, we're like, oh, that's adorable. They're not mountains anymore. Now they've created the Los hex for this campaign, or for this whole title, and it was the difference, I think, in this entire campaign, because it hamstrung me from beginning to end. And I was almost out of it.
Almost, but not quite.
So, I don't know that I have any other final thoughts on this one. I am excited to switch sides. I think 9 sessions, we got 27 turns on this one completed, and I think that was probably everything that everyone expected as far as things happening the way they were, from events and all the other die rolls and all that association stuff. So, I can't wait to take a crack at it, as I love playing the Defender, of course, and I think on this one, if I can sweat you out with getting 50 points on the front end, then yeah. I don't know ultimately what is the win-loss ratio for all of the players of this. Lee swears up and down that it's very difficult for the Confederates. We'll see. I don't know.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it. I'll go back and read all the restrictions on turns 1 through 5.
Right.
I know, I'm so excited. Oh God, I don't have to keep going back and checking this. So,
well, then we will cut it here. We're at about an hour and a half, so this is actually very timely. So sorry everyone that I rage quit the game, but I hit my limit. I can't take no more, as Chunk would say. So we'll probably take a couple of weeks here because I'm going to be traveling, and we will switch back onto the beginning. And so if you'll please take a moment to leave your comments there below. Now you can opine all you want about everything in this campaign. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I know Roger would too. And if you could, of course, support the channel by clicking that little thumbs up and like the video and subscribe so that you don't miss anything from the great rematch. And I'm also showing you everyone who's kicked in $1 or $2 here and there. Thank you so much. That has been very, very generous of you. And if you want to, there's a link right below, but otherwise, it is not expected. Roger, my friend, congratulations. Well done, sir. You thwarted me yet again, sir.
Thank you, and enjoyed it.
Yes.
Looking forward to starting back up again.
All right. Well, you take care.
You too.